So then guys, we're back with a brand new video, and today we're back with another redraft of an AFL draft, and this time we're doing one of the most decorated drafts of all time, which is the 2018 draft. This has the capabilities to be one of the best drafts of all time in AFL history, so I decided to redraft it and see how good the teams in the top 10 actually pick the players in the top 10. So yeah, make sure you drop a like on this video because then it gets shared around to more people. Comment down below what you thought of my top 10 and you put your top 10 down below. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. And number 10, I've gone for Taryn Thomas. So it's originally pick 8 in the original draft. He's not a bad player. To be in the top 10 in this draft, it's already a great accomplishment as itself. And he can actually develop to go further up this list. He's an exciting exciting small forward midfielder. He'll eventually develop into a full-time midfielder if he chooses to go that way. But in his career so far, he's really chosen to be more of a kind of a heavy score involvement player who sets up a lot of goals. He's a great set shot at goal. He's played the 26 games so far in his career over the past few years, which is very, very good coming out of the draft. So yeah, I've gone for him at number 10. Next up at number 9 was the bloke that was originally pick 18, which was part of the trio of Port players who got taken in the first round and up turned to stars, which is Xavier Durst. This bloke has actually been a great player for Port Adelaide so far in his career. He's a bit inconsistent though, but he has the ability to hit the scoreboard, runs all day, but sometimes he has games where he goes missing. But so far in his career, he's been great, barely missed games during his career so far, and is really part of that young core that has launched Port Adelaide into a prelim final this year. And even though he actually played pretty good in the prelim final, I'm pretty sure he kicked 2 goals, but he had that unforgettable drop mark in the goal square, which really brought people's opinion on him down. But he's still an absolute gun, and he's pick 9 and probably could go higher if, depending on how his career goes out. No one can forget his bow and arrow celebrations. Next up is at number 8 is Zac Rankin, who was originally pick 3 in this draft, but he's probably the most exciting player in this draft, even though he's fallen all the way to 8th position. He's a much watch. Gold Coast will not regret this pick because he puts bums on seats. He's a much watch. He's been compared to Eddie Betts. Even Eddie Betts swapping his jumper with him earlier this year, which really is a great sign of respect from probably one of the greatest small forwards of all time. And this bloke has a bright future. He could actually boost himself up into the top 3 of this draft class. Even though right now, this is very early on into all these players' careers. This is Zac Rankin's first season in the AFL, and all the other blokes have only played like 2 seasons in the AFL. So a lot can change in 2 seasons. So we'll see how all these players, but right now, Zac Rankin is the 8th best player. Alright, next up at pick 7 is Jack Lakosky. He was originally pick 2 in the draft, but he is kind of been in like a bit of a weird period when he started off his career. He was originally drafted as a key position player, as a key forward, but now has transitioned into a halfback flanker. And after he transitioned after his first season as a key forward, this season currently he did transition to a halfback flanker, and I think he came top 5 in meters gained. Has shown that he was easily the best kick in this draft by a mile, and one of the best kicks in the AFL as that, and he can still have the occasion where he does sneak forward and kick a goal, so it's not too bad. His transition has definitely helped him in his career to become one of the best players in this draft at number 7. Next up at pick 6, I've chose Zac Butters, that was originally picked 12 in the 2018 draft. But this has really hurt putting him this low, because I thought this one of my favourite players to watch in the AFL currently, and was a big reason that Port jumped up the ladder with Xavier Durst. And the players in front of him, I just could not get him in front. So I've chosen him as pick 6. This bloke is just a utility. He plays with just the heart. He's tough at the footy. He got suspended this year because of how hard he goes at the footy. He creates possessions because he just goes in to the pack with this brainless. I can see this bloke getting injured in his career, but so far he's shown his absolute potential. One of the other reasons I'm putting him at pick 6 is I feel like he's almost already hit his potential because he's a very undersized. He's playing as a small forward but he does go into the midfield, but he's very, very undersized in the midfield. So it'll be interesting if he can actually ever develop to go into the midfield, but he's playing his role very, very good right now in the Port team, and he's almost like the utility in that team right now and can kick the sneaky goal. Next up at pick 5, I have one half of the King twins, which is Ben King. He was originally pick 6 in this draft. And he's kind of like Jack Lakosky. He was originally drafted as a key defender, but the first half of his career he got spent in the NEFL, trying to find out where his position was in the AFL. So he missed half of his first season, developing in the twos in the Suns, but broke out. I think he debuted around round 16 in the 2019 season as a key forward. So he switched positions and now he plays the same position as his brother Max, and he plays so much better there, even though we never really saw him play as a key defender. But what he's showing as a key forward is very, very elite. He does play different to his brother. He plays more up the ground, but does go back and is more of a lead-up player, unlike his brother that just is a stand and deliver forward. But he's shown very great potential as a forward, a key position player for the future. Interesting to see who's the better brother in the future. But yeah, I have him at pick 5. The only real weakness to his game is his kicking ability. He's a very, very horrible set shot, I'd have to say. So last season he did kick more behinds than he did goals, which is not a great look for a key position player. But at least he's getting the ball that many times, and once he straightens up his kicking, he'll be an absolute star. At pick 4, I have the other half of the King twins, Max King. He was originally pick 4, so he stays the same position in the draft. And this man could be the #1 pick soon in the draft. Most people reckon that this bloke could be the best key forward and almost the best player in the AFL in the next coming years. His first season of footy, he did not play the first year because he was recovering from his ACL injury that he did suffer in his under-18 cup or something like that. So he took the safe route and did not play the first year to rehab and go into the gym instead of choosing to try to risk and play during the AFL season. He did play a little bit of VFL and absolutely dominated the VFL, as no surprises. But in his first year of football, he did lead St Kilda to a finals position and to win a final, and he absolutely showed out in that elimination final. He can kick like 2 or 3 goals, and some of his highlights, he was clunking. The little bit of weakness is sometimes his kicking ability, like his brother, is a bit off, and his set shot isn't as great, but that happens with every single key position player. But the fact that these King boys are getting their hands that much of the footy, because if you just looking at them, they're very, very skinny, but they are muscling out just with their size. They are muscling out some of the best key defenders in the game. The one breakout game that I saw was when Max King came against Jacob Wiedering. That was before that he didn't really. I don't think he got a goal kicked on him during the whole season, or he might have got 1 or something, and then Max King kicked 2 or 3 on him, which is when you thought, geez, this bloke could be anything. So it'll be interesting to see after another pre-season. Apparently he put on 7 kgs of muscle, so that would help him in the air since he does get pushed around a little bit. But he has the ability to be the #1 pick in this draft. Next up at pick 3, I've gone with Conor Rose. He really just was a surprise. He was drafted as a half-back, but as soon as he got drafted, he turned to a forward and led Port in 2019 in the goals, which was a huge surprise because no one thought he had that type of goal-scoring ability. But he kind of took a little bit of a step back, not too much of a step back this year, and of course he's part of the trio with Zac Butters and Xavier Durst. But he's kind of spent a bit more time in the midfield this season, which caught his goal scoring ability kind of go down a little bit, but he's still shown that he's very, very dangerous around goals. Really showed out in that prelim final that they almost won when he kicked, I think, 2 or 3 goals in the wet, and they were both from some crazy goals from some crazy angles. That really showed, geez, Conor Rose is still here to play. And this bloke could be anything. There's a lot of people that thought Conor Rose should have actually gone pick 1, and I see them arguments very good, but I just reckon he's the 3rd best player in the draft currently. If you came to me at the start of the year, I almost would have put him 1, but after this season, I had to put him at 3. Next up in my ranking, I've gone with Bailey Smith as the 2nd pick in this draft. It was redone again. He was originally pick 7 and ended up being an absolute steal. In the first year, he had a pretty much a little bit of a slow start to his career, but ever since the season when restarted in 2020, it was absolutely ridiculous. The game against I think it was St Kilda, I saw, and I think he had like the most disposals for the game, and I did not think he had that type of ball winning ability. And his ability to kind of run and carry, his speed away from the stoppage. I can see this man and Trelaw really being a dynamic duo because they're both very, very kick heavy, like just burst away from the stoppages. They could be a deadly duo. And if this bloke stays healthy, he could be one of easily the best player in this draft. People actually have arguments. I see the biggest argument on the TikTok that everyone reckons that Bailey Smith is better than Sam Walsh, but only time will tell. So right now I have him as the second best, but he could easily be the best. And no real surprises here, but with the first pick I've gone with Sam Walsh. He's been an absolute star. He did win the Rookie of the Year in last year, and then also won Mark of the Year this year, which was something I was not expecting with Sam Walsh when he came into his marking ability. But so far in his AFL career, he's been a very good outside player. But I see him in the next coming years developing into an inside mid. But right now he's just mainly an outside player. Still goes in the guts a little bit, and has been the perfect partner in crime with Paddy Cripps. But obviously they're going to get some help this season with Zach Williams and all that coming into the midfield to help him out. So hopefully with Sam Walsh getting a little bit more in the guts will help Carlton out. But Carlton did not miss with this draft selection. They picked the perfect man, and this bloke is, personally, I reckon he's a future captain. I think he's already in the leadership group. He shows leadership qualities, future Brownlow medalist if he keeps on playing like this. And this season, something he didn't really do was he's been more damaging. He hit the scoreboard way more often than he did last season, which was very good, and I'm interested to see what he can do next year. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment down below what you think your top 10 would be and what things I can improve with this redrafting series, because I'm planning to do a lot of these AFL draft classes, and I hope you guys are enjoying these because I've been loving making AFL content recently, and you guys have been showing love. I'm not really sure if I should really continue that Bulldogs career series for AFL Evolution. Comment down below if you reckon I should continue it. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video so it gets shared around with more people. Subscribe because we're on the road to 200 subscribers, and turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload. Now thanks for watching.